if they win here, they're guaranteed major. Tundra, if they win here, they don't instantly get relegated down. They at least get to play tiebreaker. So we're going to find out if they can do that. And that does mean that if they lose, they are getting relegated just straight up without an extra chance for a comeback. So lose is out. And I'm here with BSJ and Cap. We're going to talk about this game. You want to start with the standings, Cap, just real quick? Just
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. That is what I want, Shiver.
Okay.
It's definitely not because that's what production has queued up. Tundra, 2-4. I thought that Tundra was actually going to be one of the surprises of this season. Right? New patch is a new opportunity for all of these teams that are kind of like bottom four. You know, like Secret. They've actually looked a bit out of sorts when it comes to the new patch. This is an opportunity for you to be able to shine. So I thought Tundra was going to come in with their new edition of Snake King and really cause some upsets. But unfortunately, they just haven't done quite that. And I guess they still have an opportunity to if they manage to bring down Nigma here, go 3-4. Maybe if they end up in some sort of tiebreaker, who knows how high they can actually get. Yeah. They can't get fourth, right?
No, they can
3 and 4?
not.
No, there's
No, because at the moment all the top four has to be 4 wins, so you have to have 4 wins to be in the top 4. But yeah, you're talking about Snake King coming in as the new kid for Tundra. On the other side, of course, ILTW is a new addition this season for Team Nigma, and we have GH talking about that.
Ultimate. Miracle, he's back in though, GH also able to get the lead in onto Seb with the combo. Miracle's able to bring down Hotel, the second round of hook shot, he's on top of Seb, Seb's gonna go down.
We didn't really have any expectations going into the season, so it's hard for me to answer if we had any expectations and if we met our expectations, but I say it's pretty okay for the moment. We still have one last series to play, and after that I can give you a definite answer. Now that ILTW joined the team, I feel like the hero pool of the team changed a bit, especially in the carry and mid role. We get more chances to bust out new heroes that weren't expected beforehand. Our playstyle doesn't really change. We just aim to play the same Dota we played before, just do it better and better and better until we perfect it. So it's the same playstyle, just done better.
Round, they've got the control here over towards this Tiny. Miracle getting fully focused by Saxa. The pushback comes in. Miracle, he's still alive somehow, standing his ground whilst Rupture gets...
I have yet to meet him in real life to see what he's really about and how he feels, and get to know his personality more and more. But for the moment, I'm happy with him, happy with his performance. He's a nice kid, he's a good guy, he's funny. Sometimes he cracks some jokes, make us laugh. So it's fun to have him around.
It's fun to have ILTW around. I mean, definitely fun if it helps you win some more games, because Team Nigma did look on fire. And they are coming into this series today here as the favorite here. I am going to say they're coming in here as the favorite. So I'm curious, Brian, what do you think Tundra needs to focus on to get a win here today?
Old ILTW moving to the carry role or coming in the carry role. You got Miracle back to mid, and he's looking fresh and he's looking good. And that means on the other side, we have to have some 6 showing from 9 today.
Yeah, I think we do have to have some 6 showing from 9 today. We definitely have at least a showing from 9 today, as we sat down with him earlier.
I've got into gaming when I was really young. I have 2 older brothers and started playing Dota, and I was just watching them when I was younger. And at some point, I don't know when exactly, I just started as well. I just tried when I had the chance to play on their PC, and then it's been part of my life ever since.
There's a Ravage over on the back lines of medium. There's a second Ravage coming out now from 33. They'll take down FMG. Limp has got that BKB going.
Back in the days, people often thought of me as weird because I spent so much time playing games, especially Dota. I'm just very passionate about it, so I don't really care.
Save him a little bit longer. FMG probably going to die for this. They follow up with the Witcher's.
There was not a point when I realized I'm gonna make it. There was just this point when I decided I am gonna make it. It's a long and hard journey. I still think that I have what it takes to become the best. I just have things that I need to work on. But I think once I figure things out, I'm gonna be on top.
Just gonna keep hitting the buildings. The top right now. The GG gets...
My team and me will do better in future, and we will succeed. I think we have what it takes to be a top tier team.
And the road of growth definitely has been there for Tundra already from the season start. And I don't even mean the season 2 start, I mean season 1 start. We're going to find out how much they've grown here in their final series, though, as we have the draft in front of us. Brian, Cap, I would like to hear your thoughts on what we are expecting for this series.
Haircut for Peter.
Maybe a little bit of a brush at least.
Yes. A grooming of sorts.
We do know that Skeeter, he messes around with his hair a lot in the draft, so I don't know if that is a sign, like, if he touches his hair more,
He's
is he
already
more worried?
stressing out.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying? Oh
yeah.
no, oh no.
Oh, no.
One of the things that I feel like Tundra, one of their most successful drafts is when they have big team fighters. So these Tidehunters, Enigmas. I was actually very disappointed that they did not opt for either Phoenix or Enigma in their series against Alliance, because I felt like that was a combination of your strength and a potential weakness of Alliance's percentage-based damage.
Yes.
So I'm still looking for that on Tundra's side, and then a link between the two of them is a predilection for harder carries, right? Terrorblades, Medusas, like those kind of heroes both sides actually do like picking up.
Now that's fascinating. Going with the duo support opening, unless there's some miracle Willow, I'm not knowledgeable about here.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I perked up because I thought he was playing it in his post, but I think it's Thompson
Yeah, I
instead.
think it's Thompson. That sounds
Yeah.
more like Thompson's alley. Usually don't reveal your two supports because at the competitive level, the supports do tell you a lot about the pace of the early game, as well as it tells you enough information about both lanes that you can often draft pretty strong lane duos against at least the support, which makes it really difficult to compensate for with the respective core picks. But Willow Warlock, that is a metric crap ton of team fight.
Yeah, if you look at the tie between the two, Dispel is really good against both of those, right? Because First Crowned and then Fatal Bonds is really important to Dispel. So this Tidehunter pickup fits into what we were talking about before. Big team fight that also does well against these supports. I will say one of the upsides of first twoing your supports in this current meta is that 4 positions and roaming supports in general don't seem to be that impactful, right? It just doesn't feel like you can put that much pressure on many of the mid laners right now, in part because of this bottle water rune spam. And then on top of that, like half the time past 4 minutes, they're spending time hitting easy camp creeps, or maybe they're stacking their own triangle and farming that. Like, it just feels like it's kind of hard to know what they're doing and to gank them.
That is true. I will say the supports are pretty much lane babysitters for the first maybe 4 minutes. Usually they'll check that water rune because at that point most offlaners are pretty self-sufficient, at least for a creep wave or two. Warlock, I love this hero this patch. I think he's fallen out of favor, though, a lot more than I would have expected. Maybe in favor of the AAs of the world that are now getting even first-round banned. That hero was pretty much not a thing 3 or 4 weeks ago. Just such a stable lane support, gives you team fight, a lot of really cool Fatal Bonds combos that you can really plug in from any role. You can do like the Gyrocopter in the carry role, which they ban out. You can do even like Venomancers in the off lane if you're feeling cute. It's just any spread damage works out really well with it.
Yeah, I think the part of the recent Ancient Apparition is more viable than Warlock right now is the speed that you can play with Ancient Apparition, right? It feels like you put Ancient Apparition with, say, like last game, support Tiny, or any other kind of like mid laner that runs around, then your Ice Vortex plus your Cold Feet actually have real potential to help ganks actually work, whereas Warlock doesn't provide that same kind of presence. It's really hard to use Fatal Bonds in a ganking scenario, and Shadow Word very oftentimes, at the levels that you're at, 2 levels of Shadow Word most of the time, maybe
Take that.
a low level of upheaval, it doesn't really do that much. So, which
passive
means
hero.
you are entirely team fight dependent and also cooldown dependent. And it has proven to be a decently fast meta. Yeah, big team fights are still really important, but you also want to be able to constantly have some sort of offense available.
So they are forced to pick first, Nigma, coming into the second round. You wait to reveal your cores, and I'm kind of gonna hopefully find out why. You know, what's the idea? You see the tide, does that mean you immediately third pick your carry with something like the Jug? That's just stable.
That's
do they
a
do?
Juggernaut. That seems...
Is that what they did?
I heard that.
Nice. Okay, so they do immediately reveal the counter core to the most likely 3-position hero of Tundra. I know they've occasionally ran 5 Tide.
Maybe they like the mag with it too. I don't know. I feel like it's...
Mag Willow is a lane. Absolutely.
Yeah, a mag Jug with the Empower is always nice.
Yeah, Jug definitely an ILTW special. I think giving a carry player when he's newer to a team comfort heroes as well as heroes with a little bit of forgiving spells, in this case the spin to survive, it just makes this transition smoother, I think, when you're coming onto a new team as a carry.
Yeah, absolutely. You're able to just almost in a pub fashion just focus on your own game.
Yeah.
Right. I do quite like Mag right now. He's so good with so many of these 4 positions. Dark Willow, Lina, the repositioning of Shockwave works so well with that. I have personally played with and against the Dark Willow Mag combo, and it's so annoying. Brambles gets thrown down. If it's freely thrown and you end up in one of those Brambles, then you are Shockwave back into another set of Brambles. It just sucks.
How do you compare him to the Centaur? Like, on the offline, if you had to choose in this lineup, would you prefer Mag over Centaur? Centaur's still in, right?
I
Yeah.
would strongly consider Centaur because they picked a Baden, which likely means they're going for something like a Drow in the carry role. We talked about, Cap talked about the importance of dispels, so it makes sense why they would have Tide offlane, but also a 5-position Abaddon in order to not only protect itself, but all others. And if you pick a ranged, or sorry, a melee 5, you probably want a ranged core. And out of all the ranged cores I can think of that aren't Medusa, because that's already banned out, and Morphling as well, Drow sticks out to me the most. And I know Nigma's going to be thinking, like, what's their likely pairing with this Abaddon? And I think Centaur deals with it better than the Mag.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Drow is certainly a hero. I feel like we haven't been seeing it that much in the DPC, but I've seen it toyed around with enough in pubs, and I imagine it's being picked in scrims. It feels like one of those heroes that people are trying to figure out whether or not they can actually do it in officials.
And of the few teams that do pick Drow, we did see Tundra at least play it once, but it was not successful.
It's either Drow or Luna, even though I hate Luna. I think that has to be their 2 options here.
Yeah, one of the things about Drow that people are experimenting with is the current shard, the Frostbite.
What does it do?
You don't get it super early, but it shatters people. It does it does additional slow, and then it shatters them, doing like AoE damage.
It's
based on
60
percentage
damage
of them,
per
right?
stack, I think.
Yeah.
So it makes your frost arrows like fury swipes, where the more times you hit them, the more damage they take per hit, and then also it makes it so that when they die, if however many charges they have, it blows up in an area. And your your split shot, or what's it called? Multi-shot. Multi-shot triggers frost arrows, so it's like a farming / damage mechanism. It also reduces healing. But okay,
healing.
not even in the game, so not going to worry about it anymore. They do go for the Faceless Void. Decent matchup against Jug, carry to carry. It's okay out of all the melee heroes with the Abaddon, just because usually Abaddon is like on the side of the lane using Orb of Venom plus his passive to bully. And usually you pick ranged cores because they can kind of be laning while also helping you bully. But Faceless Void, he has the time dilation as well as the time walk to actually come over and help you in lane. So it's like a reasonable pairing. But if I'm an offlaner and I see Abaddon Void, there's a lot of options, such as like an Underlord that can just damage mitigate that will almost always free farm. So I think Mind Control could very well take control.
Yeah, I mean, you say Underlord, that sounds like a great pick to me. And then I look at Tundra having to ban like Timbersaw, Axe. Like, yeah, all those heroes would work really nicely against a double melee lane as well.
Yeah,
so.
they would just free farm. Those heroes would not only free farm, but they're like the meta ones. They're the best heroes of the patch. I think Centaur is even reasonable here if they want to do it, since it just happens to be in the pool. We usually don't get that far. The question is, you're against Lesh. It seems like a Queen of Pain.
I was gonna say that same thing Fogg said. We saw Mind Control on Nature's Prophet the other day, and he crushed it. They were able to set such a high tempo with that. Would it fit?
You picked Warlock, Willow, and then what? I feel like I'd rather have at least one guy that's like a stunner. They don't have a way to start fights right now. I mean, Mind Control, like Nature's Prophet. I'll never complain if you pick it, but...
What mid laner do we need to see? It needs to be some sort of ranged nuker. Was that Lina?
I
Yeah,
said
I
Queen of
heard
Pain,
Lina
but
as
yeah,
well, I
Lina is a good
Yeah.
matchup against the Leshrac.
I was a little bit surprised they banned Void Spirit just because so many melee heroes with a Faceless Void. I felt like you absolutely needed some sort of range because they only have Sapphire right now.
Yeah, I think Centaur is the best pick here by a pretty large margin. But if they go Nature's Prophet, like I said, take me home, Mind Control.
There's quite a few options actually still left for him, which is
What kind of build would you want in a
nice.
Nature's Prophet? Because I'm not even sure if you can go an Orchid build.
No,
Cleanse in this
no,
case, so.
I'd even be fine if you just went pure like utility around the map. Like you go like Witchblade, Solar,
Crest,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker.
That's an interesting one because that actually is a disable that will stick onto these heroes.
That's
Hunter
even better, yeah.
hates these AoE persistent disables. Abaddon
Also
is
hates
low
it.
range. You very often get caught in the silence of Night Stalker when trying to aphotic shield people, and obviously persistent silence is great against Void as well.
Is what I love about, I mentioned in the Bad and Void lane, is they just don't punish the offlaner. It's a very greedy, it's like a passive lane in the sense that you're just not afraid of getting killed if you're the offlaner that's durable. And Night Stalker is often, he struggles if you're against consistent damage, like a Troll, an Ursa, Lifestealer that's just constantly pelting you with attacks. But he's an overall greedy offlaner because usually people can out-push the lane, out-pressure him, but Abaddon Void don't really do that. So all the weaknesses that Night Stalker suffers, which makes him very situational, we don't see him all that much this meta, are not in this game. And I wanted Centaur to have somebody that runs in and disrupts and starts things, and I think Night Stalker is actually a better version of that this game for all the reasons Cap mentioned, so I think that's a sick last pick, and they're going to own.
Okay, so Cap, what needs to happen for Tundra to have a good start here in this series?
We'll definitely be looking out for the mid matchup. You know, you got your last pick, Lina pickup. If he does really well, then he can actually threaten the Leshrac in every single one of these team fights. With especially if you actually start getting a bit of right-click damage. 9 is 100% the person I'm going to be watching all game long.
Okay, we're going to be watching that mid lane, and we're going to watch a fun game of Dota 2 together with our commentary team, Moxie and Fogged.
All right, well, we've got a lot of eyes over on that mid lane, but a lot of people pretty excited about this Night Stalker pickup.
Yeah. Big fan of the hero. I don't think we get to see it too much in Europe at all. I know China does love this hero on certain specific players, but looks great in this game. They're playing versus Tidehunter. You can't crack and shell off of that silence because it's going to be constantly applied to you because it's from the Night Stalker. Same thing for the Void. You just are constantly silent, super annoying. Abaddon usually needs to get pretty close range to get these shields off. Silence, again, it's a great hero to just lead the charge and definitely be that, what I think Brian was trying to say, like, you know, the dangler, right? The guy that just, like, he starts the fight, he baits them a little bit to come in, but also looking at Tundra, very ulti-reliant lineup is what I'm looking at. So I feel like the pace that Team Nigma can set, especially with, like, less Jug, they can just start taking towers very quick if you do start slipping up with 1 or 2 of those ults.
It does feel like they have a very nice balanced draft coming out from the side here of Nigma. The fact that, you know, you've got someone who's going to be able to put pressure down on those buildings. You've got the ganking duo of GH and Mind Control together. I always like when you can see two people just very clearly.
Oh,
They
jeez.
almost booped noses there. My goodness.
They kind of did. Oh, my, that was
Right on the
quite
cusp
cute.
there.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at this.
Look at this pad.
Slightly-
Look at how sneaky they're
Oh,
being.
9.
This is insane. 9's very close to his tower, though. That's a tough one to get. They're playing
Yeah, but
very
they're
close.
waiting. They're hoping that 9's gonna.
He's going to step. Oh,
Oh,
is he going to step back? They're waiting at the wings.
come hither, my child.
Oh, is he going to get caught here? It looks
All
like
right,
he is.
that's gonna be the jump, the brambles, everything getting used on 9. And Mind Control is gonna be off to a really nice start.
And they immediately start with the chat wheel. So you can tell Team Nigma, they're ready for some fun again today. As we saw the other day, super aggressive. That was the key thing that we did see from them, with a very similar kind of style of supports in particular. I think they actually did have the exact same too. Looking at Tundra though, they are countering a bit of this Willow for sure with the way they've set up their draft. Tidehunter, Kraken Shell able to remove Fatal Bonds. Abaddon Shield able to remove his buddies. Fatal Bonded tough stuff. So we did see how much the Warlock was a problem the other day, how much damage it was able to amplify. So Tundra has put themselves in a position to counter that a bit.
So this mid matchup here, from what I understand, it should be, you know, going more towards the side of 9. But of course, it is Miracle.
It is.
Who is playing this Leshrac, so.
up to those lane mechanics. I think this is a very, very slightly Lina favored matchup, but I think Lesh can free farm in the same exact kind of match.
LTW.
Oh my goodness, he drops very low. Kuro will get a courier for it though, because they don't pay attention while they are going aggressive, as
Fata?
happened a lot. As Fata.
Okay, he's going to be the first victim here, as they do put some pressure here on Skeeter.
Very strong lane. GH drops very low himself too. Do they have any salve? Mind Control used it on himself, so GH is going to stay quite low up here. But it doesn't matter, because he's playing versus Void Abaddon. Very passive lane, as the panel mentioned.
This Fatal Bond's pretty annoying down here in the bottom lane, something that we were saying to watch out for.
Yeah, early on, this lane is quite strong versus the Tidehunter. That's where you do see snaking. We've seen this more, at least especially recently, because the Snapfires used to just default, you get the little shredder, but you're versus Jug, you have Tide, you want to be able to get him away from that spin in case of anything, and you can even get some aggressive playstyle too with the Cookie too. So I do like that people are switching up the build a little bit here. I've seen China actually skipping Little Shredder a lot of the times too. They actually just get your Cookie and your Scatter Blast sometimes, but in Europe, I'm pretty sure we're going to see the same just Cookie and Little Shredder.
It's got some very good value to it, but it is always nice whenever you can see
33.
some dynamic moves
Dropping
around
low.
here. 33 is dropping very, very low. In fact, he pops a Fairy Fire, and
He's
it's
dead.
just not enough. Those Fatal Bonds. Too good.
Yeah. It's got the Bastia ready, the Dream for Kuroki. Exactly what you want to have happen for your Warlock this early on, especially with the Jug. They did have to burn a bit of regen there, but great aggressive plays again coming out. As snaking, he's gonna be happy. This is a very happy Snapfire. 3 full creeps, he's level 3 now. Tidehunter is only level 2, so Snapfire is gonna be a bit over leveled in this lane, which could also work out pretty decently because level 1 Little Shredder, not that strong. No. Level 2, very strong, especially when you have a Gush behind.
Lots of negative armor coming out in this bottom lane, but do have to play very, very carefully here. Another spin over here.
But look at the damage.
ILTW needs to be careful. Cookie hop forward. They'll
Nice
get the
time.
stun. Can they finish him off? Do they have the damage? Indeed, they do. Snaking gonna get himself a kill.
Getting that early level 3 was quite important for him to turn it onto the Jug. Don't think that they gave the respect to that Little Shredder. Did the neutrals just kill his courier? They did.
Okay.
Courier's dying all over the place.
Been seeing a lot of that recently.
Yeah.
Something's up with the couriers, man. They're just tired of this life.
Bottom, this is a struggle lane for both sides. Jug 7 last hits, Tide 6. We said Snapfire kind of taking over the core. Is that a... I think that is. That's a medallion coming out already on snaking.
Oh my god.
3 minutes in, there's going to be a medallion on this Jug, plus all these Little Shredders and Gush. And this minus armor is going to be very effective.
That's very, very scary
That's
when
so
you consider
early.
how much they've already got going on with just their abilities, and now you add a medallion into it.
Yeah. And immediately they're spinning again. LTW. Just trying to push 33 out of the lane, making sure he can get no farm. Kuro.
Kuro has to be careful. They're applying some of that Little Shredder damage like we talked about.
No mana for Cookie, though. 10 short. I think they had a Mango on the Tide. Maybe they could have gone for it, but they chose not to.
They're just, muscling away here. GH trying to get a little bit of this experience. 9 making his way over. Should be able to go and...
He killed it. Didn't show the attack animation, the projectile in midair, but he did kill the water rune. That looked a little bit weird.
That is really weird. I didn't realize that it would show.
I usually feel like I do see it. I've never seen it not
I've never seen it not show.
Oh, cool.
All right, well, top lane, though, a little bit of pressure being placed here on Mind Control.
He's making him just run away from the creep wave. Skeeter ends up missing, I think, 2 creeps there for that. Still farming just fine up here, but he should as the Void. The thing is that you're giving a free lane to a hero like Nightstalker who can be a bit more greedy. So we are going to have that nighttime being coming out soon, and then they're going to really put the pressure onto Skeeter up here.
Middle lane trying to trade off. 9, oh, Miracle's got too much damage.
Oh, and he was winning the matchup pretty well, too, on this Lina. But does just get ran down.
Raindrops.
Miracle. Yeah, raindrops. He's used a lot of charges here. And the build, interesting. Doesn't go for 2 points in lightning. Sometimes you see that to be able to match out the aggression of Alina, but he just goes for the kill, and it ends up working. Might even find himself a second one here, Fata.
Chasing down Fata. Brambles. No.
He's got him.
He's got shield. He's got plenty of damage. Fata just going to, be a little bit of space created, I guess.
He's trying to get some information. Maybe watching for some, stacks or something like that. As bottom, we're seeing... This is just the battle lane. I mean, both teams just duking it out. But the Tidehunter is hitting a threshold of being pretty much unkillable, especially with that medallion behind. Snaking's going to heal up, but phenomenal start down here for the Snapfire. Look at the Jug's farm. 13 last hits. He's so far behind.
I feel like this is the story of snaking since joining Tundra. Not necessarily always because, you know, he's getting these kills in lane or whatnot, but he's just been allowed to play, like, much greedier than a lot of fours.
Yeah,
And he finds the farm.
Yeah, especially, I mean, a lot of the times we did see him doing like some jungle stuff with
Yeah,
his
the
Enigmas.
Enigma
and
is, like,
he tried
so
the
good.
Venomancer, but yeah, he's doing really well. Especially when those type of things happen, you just get given that medallion. He's moving mid.
There's a lot of people making their way to this mid lane now. Brambles connecting, but they've got the support. So the haste rune does get picked up over here by Miracle.
That's a big rune when you've gone for this skill build as well. 3 points in Edict. Has level 6 already finished up. He could run down pretty much anybody here.
Bottom lane, another spin over on 33. He's absolutely fine. I'm waiting to see what we see happen here on this mid lane, though. It definitely feels like they want to apply the pressure, although they have rotated the other supports back up top.
Snaking kind of has to just sit behind for a second here. I think 9 has to be very careful with his positioning because of that haste. As top,
Silence,
time's out.
Curse Crown. Okay, yeah, they do have the Photic Shield. So it'll protect Skeeter, but that pressure we talked about, it's already started.
They're kicking up. The catapult is there too, so it's going to start hitting on the tower. Kuroki's going to rotate. They're just going to leave the jug bottom since he shouldn't die. He should just be able to farm down here now at this point. And just really trying to use this catapult at its maximum. It will die here, but it did get 500-ish damage. Not great, not terrible. Snaking.
GH should be able to just run away here. Does have the boots.
Maybe
Middle
gave away
lane,
at the
though.
ward.
Miracle trying to dance around in circles. Looks like he's going to be able to get the... Oh, no, the Photic Shield coming out. So Miracle is forced to just run out of this area on bottom lane. More spins coming out from LTW. He's just trying to bully 33 a little bit more here.
Both just poking at each other constantly. Miracle is playing so aggressive lately. We saw the Tiny from the other day. This time on the Lash, he's not going for just like farming whatsoever. He's just going for battle. Max Edict built, as we said, it's going to be this very early push timing that Team Nigma is setting up for, but it does look like Tundra, they're going to get these early levels in particular, like Snaking. If they give him that 6, which I think, I actually would like them to see, give him a little bit more level so he can fight with the Chrono, because then he can set up these defenses around towers really easy. Chrono plus Kisses, or Ravage plus Kisses, they will have a couple different ways to actually protect from the inevitable push that will come from this Jug Lesh. Gotta watch out for the swoop, though. That's always the power of that Night Stalker coming in from the backlines once he does has Dark Ascension online too.
That is true, because already we're seeing some of this pincering movement coming out. They're sweeping through the jungle. Do have a nice ward over there on the eye spot, so they can keep tabs on who's hanging out on the side.
Snaking hits 5. Looks like Skeeter's actually smoking to make a move onto mid. They want Miracle, but it looks like it's going to be GH who shows for now. I don't think they want to settle for that one. They want a bigger kill with this Chronosphere. If Skeeter's going to go hunting, they need a big core kill.
Yeah, they're backing off. They're just going to farm up the jungle for now. And they're going to be patient. They are starting to migrate, though, down to this bottom half of the map for the side of Team Nigma. And LTW has to be a bit careful. There is Skeeter nearby. He does have the Chrono. Don't have those Kisses online just yet.
He's safer because he's got that high effective armor since he is just, you know, the carry's the agi hero. So he's okay if it's just the Chronosphere that's on top of him. He just has to watch out if there were the Kisses, but Kisses not available. They're just going to pressure tower with the movement.
Yet. They're getting close, though.
They are close. And top, we see the same rotation. Nigma brings down towers 10 times faster.
Way faster, yes.
Edict alone pushes faster than the whole enemy lineup of Tundra. Kisses, of course, the little Shredder helps a bit, but still got to take them time to take this bottom tower.
Yes, it's not necessarily the fastest pushing lineup.
No.
Coming out from Tundra, but they're putting the pressure down.
Especially not if the Lena's there. And Lena is looking to show herself in mid. GH is taking that XP, and here comes that wraparound, that sandwich. They saw her.
Yeah, Brambles rooting into place. They've got the silence. LSA, though, does buy a bit more time. The Curse Crown does come out, and they're just going to try to chase down Nigma. The call up here from Skeeter does manage to get the Chronosphere off, and they don't quite have the Snapfire just yet, but they'll take down Miracle. They're looking for more. The Fatal Bonds have been applied. Mind Control will fall. Cookie out forward here from Skeeter's LTW. He was hunting. He just can't seem to get his hands on them. 33, walking over to the high ground. Looks like he's just going to try to focus down these stacks instead.
They were very ready for that move coming in, very ready for the wraparound. Skeeter instantly does TP, and they do also get the Fada TP first to get that shield off. Very nicely done to protect 9. Good stuff so far. Very even, slow game.
It was a great Chronosphere, but now, of course, you know...
It's down. It's time to go.
Yeah, it is.
Time to push mid again.
Exactly. They still have the Ravage, and they have picked up the Snapfire Kisses now. So.
I think they have to run 33 over. He doesn't have TP, so he has to move very quick as this tower, it's going to get brought down super fast. Do you have Glyph? So 33 should make it in time.
He's got to walk on in, though, and look at this already. Team Nigma respecting it, backing off.
They're going to glyph the
Fortify
catapult.
the carry, though.
Yep. Showing
know why I
4
said that.
heroes, but this is the move that they need to do to stop that kind of push here. And now they can start a push of their own with that tide there. And they did use the Dark Ascension before, so nighttime is not available, so it's tougher for Mind Control to show up and look for these fights.
33 will happily take all of these hits off. They have to be careful, though, because they do have the Fatal Pawns applied to them.
They have lots of different ways to remove it, though. Shields, plus the Kraken eventually when it procs, yeah. Fada always at the ready, does remove out that second one. And Nigma, they respond versus this tower push themselves, too, with also heavy team fight availability, with Kuroki sitting back with the Infernal. But they're stalling. Mind Control just farming jungle, because we said, you know, daytime, using that downtime.
I will say that Tundra is being very good about not blowing all of their ultimates at once.
Yes.
Obviously, they have a great wombo combo, but, you know, it's usually just, you know, Chronosphere, plus we did see the Laguna Blade, but everyone else holding onto those other spells so that way they can use it as a deterrent, because you know that Nigma, especially Miracle, is going to be just running at your buildings.
Yeah, both cores looks like they're gonna get their Yules at the same time, the Lina and the Lash. It feels like we have like pretty much mirror movements coming up from both sides so far.
They do indeed.
ILTW is going for fighting build. He's got the Yasha into the Diffusal queued up. Seeing more Diffusal, of course, as we always mention in China, but do see its purpose in this one versus some low mana heroes, Tidehunter, Abaddon, Void. Could be effective. We've seen it more and more.
All right, Night Stalker and Dark Willow on the hunt, looking to find any stragglers here in the jungle, maybe wrap around, get a quick pick off, but they do have to be careful because they are going to be walking into several heroes here.
Yeah, 9 has the Yule so he's got a way to protect himself versus this aggression. Mind Control.
See the stack. Gonna make the play over here on Snake King. Curse Crown right on it. This is gonna be a dead Snapfire.
He almost got, you saw he wounded up the cookie, but up the silence. The crippling fear
Yeah.
did catch onto him right at the edge, so stops that animation.
And they take the stack too.
That's a big one. Yeah, GH even gonna just ult for it.
I think you're pretty happy with that here.
Great usage of the Dark Ascension. Nighttime in about 2 minutes as well, too, after that does end. And he's getting close to his vessel. Gonna be quite early.
Still a lot of posturing, though, around this middle tower. Feels like Tundra really want to put the pressure down, try to take advantage of...
Spending a lot of time here. That you can see that Nigma is winning in the efficiency so far because Mind Control is just farming so much more during this downtime, and they did, of course, steal that stack away. These supports, we see a level 8 on the Willow, level 6 on Kuroki. Kuroki's got all he needs.
They're playing this
really
really well,
trying to
too.
push.
Skeeter's, he's got the Chronosphere if they want to try to do any sort of initiation. They have lots of ways that they can do this. They have to watch out. Miracle appearing over here on the side.
They're gonna drop
Go,
the rock.
they drop the rock, and they have those fatal bonds down, but the follow-up with the Terrorize. Trying to get
Nine's
them out. They're both stunned up. The Snapfire kills come in, but Nine's already dead. Followed up with the Ravage. 33 will fall, but they have the Chronosphere. They held onto it long enough. They'll take down Miracle. They'll take down Mind Control. They're chasing after GH now. Looks like Skeeter should be able to find that kill. Now ILTW, he's going to try to spin, but they have this physical damage. He's got to be careful. Might be able to go and just burn down Snake and Cookie just a little bit too early here, as Skeeter is going to take a lot of this, but he time walks away, has his eyes now on Kuroki, and he's just going to wail away on him and put the pressure down on the tower.
And they come out ahead on it just a little bit here. It's like the exact same thing from both sides coming out there. They kill the Lesh, they also kill the Lina, the Abaddon lives, but they do end up getting that finalized kill onto the Warlock. So I do feel like Tundra is happy, but they did not finish
Didn't
off
get
the
the tower. No. And now they blew a bunch of those ultimates.
Did.
They only have the Laguna Blade now available.
And Nigma's gonna go right back. It's almost nighttime,
They
too.
are. 33 is tanking a lot of this damage. Time walk away here from Skeeter. Snake King, the Yules comes out here from Miracle. He's gonna get just stunned immediately. Skeeter, though, chasing in. It's
He's
almost
slowed.
enough damage to take down Snake King, but not quite. Miracle, he's in trouble. The Cookie hop forward. Skeeter, he just can't seem to find him, but he's still going to fall. As ILTW again, spin into one, should be able to take down 33 here if he wants to go and commit on it. The
Good.
silence, though, coming out. Mind Control joining right back in. Laguna over on the back lines, taking out GH as Snake King's getting chased down by Mind Control.
Team's just
They're going
duking
right
it out
back
of the
in.
mid lane.
Yeah,
I
they're
love this.
they're continuing. This is starting to look like some of my pubs here. Immediately spin over onto 9. They'll be able to keep him healthy, though. They'll turn right back around. They get off one of these bashes.
It's just
The
constant
jump
battles.
forward again here from Skeeter, trying to put out more damage over onto Kuro.
Mind Control again using the Ascension. We do have nighttime though, so he is a lot stronger throughout these next few moments. And will they be able to get the tower this time is the question. It's the battle of the mid.
It is.
Miracle does get brought down again. What does he do? Because he does use the aggressive Yule, so he gets time dilated up.
Fata.
Can they keep holding this tower?
Nice positioning. He's just trying to get one of these stuns off.
Another glyph for the Cardi. It's literally mid-wars.
It is.
How long has this been here? It's been like 6 minutes of both teams just TPing 5 heroes, running 5. Look at this again.
Yep,
all 5
same
heroes
thing.
to mid lane from one side, all 5 heroes from the other
We've
side.
been here so long that they're starting to get their abilities back off of cooldown here. Skeeter is rooted into place, gets a bash off over onto Mind Control. Does have to be careful. He's got the Cursed Crown and the Brambles, but he is just going to time walk it off. As they start to make a play over on Miracle, not quite. ILTW again, the spin, another bash.
Can't even tell who's coming out more ahead on this because it's literally the exact same thing from both sides. Like, okay, Omni's coming back up, but so is Chronosphere, so is Ravage.
So is Ravage,
so
everything.
is Chaotic Offering, so is absolutely everything. Back to the mid lane battle. We will have Void take a little bit of time off, go collect some bounties, but then back to the mid lane to
Dear
fight.
Diary, it is day 4 of sieging the middle towers, and, you know, morale is still high with the troops.
Miracle's like, enough for this. I'm going top. Getting
I
a wave
think
or two
that's-
for myself for now.
I think that's the play here
Yeah.
at this point. But they are smoked up over on the side of Tundra. They're looking for the engagement. The silence, though, coming out immediately over onto the Spadden. It's forced away, but they already used the Willow Bedlam.
Gonna spin the wave to clear it out. They're gonna glyph the wave so that he can't.
They'll go for the
but
Ravage.
It does clip him.
Clipping right at the very end, but the Terrorize coming out is beautiful here. Fall from GH. They'll go, they'll drop the Chronosphere, and they've got these kisses. Can they do enough damage? It's looking pretty gosh darn good over here on Mind Control. The bash comes out. Yes, Mind Control will fall. They already took out ILTW.
Tundra's ults being a little bit more successful here. Yeah, definitely tipping Skeeter. I think he caught absolutely everybody. That Ravage also was sick. Timed perfectly for when the Blade Fury ends. That was very nice by 33. As they will get that mid tower, so Battle of the Mid Tower will finally end. It looked like he almost did it just a second too early, but this man is
right
perfect.
up because he just perfect.
Skeeter also, that little sidestep was actually so clutch. He actually backpedaled, dodged the Terrorize so that he jumps in and gets the successful Chrono off. And nice healing ward micro, but not gonna keep Mind Control alive.
It was a good try for sure, but very nicely played here.
And they're gonna get the tower deny in the mid lane. So Tundra, they've won the mid ward for sure. I love it.
What a game.
12 to 12, 18 minutes. Wouldn't ask for a better dead even game as Fata found again. Got his own way to protect himself as soon as he drops low.
Yeah, immediately. Borrowed time
get
comes
caught
out.
this
He
time.
is not going to be able to survive this time.
Oh, whose item was that? Whose neutral item was that? Was that the shield that popped it? Don't tell me that. I think it was. It was. Okay. He got it. Okay. Right. I was like, oh god.
Bug is very upset about
I was like,
this,
oh god,
guys.
did the neutral get stolen? Look at him. He runs for it. I was so scared for a second. The courier. Oh, nicely done.
Nicely
Okay.
done.
Almost lost himself a neutral. As Nigma, they are still looking to fight a little bit more frequently here. Since they do know that Chrono, Ravage, Snapfire Kisses are down. It's still nighttime for
That's
Mind
quite
Control.
the mouthful of all the abilities now. All the R buttons
It's the
are...
ulties.
Except for, you know, the Laguna Blade.
Yes.
Still have that up and running, but the smoke is over here on Nigma. They're looking to just comb through the area, see what they can find. They threw up some nice vision deep in there.
It's interesting because it's an interesting dynamic because they're reliant on cooldowns, but not as reliant because they have Night Stalker, who he can just rely on just flying into the backlines and just breaking up the fight so much. But also they do have to rely sometimes when it's not nighttime and he has Dark Ascension cooldown. So it's a lot of cooldown back and forth here between this game that makes it really fun. And Fada constantly just runs into them here, which is actually really good for him. He's scouting, forcing spells on himself, getting his team into good positions to get those ults. This is a very even back and forth game so far for these first 20.
Look how immediately they turn around. The cookie hop forward here. Do you have the Curse Crown over on Fata? They'll get stunned. They'll just back off.
Skeeter is definitely the big winner out of all this, though. 4-0-6 so far, yet to die. ILTW does have the 2 deaths. He's been slowed down. We'll almost have Diffusal Blade finished up, but that does mean that feels like Nigma is going to be more on a timer of just constantly looking for fights, while Void's going to scale better.
Oh, 9?
He gets
Yeah. Didn't realize that everybody was in the vicinity. There's just a lot of burst damage. Does have the Yule's gonna try to buy just a tiny bit more time, but again, GH will find the kill.
It's a lot of gold. Wow, 405. 20 minutes in.
We've had quite the fights back and forth. I mean, most of it was taking place here in the mid lane, but
It was.
yeah, look at that heat map. Woo! That's for Snapfire alone.
Snaking's been everywhere.
And he had a really nice start.
He did.
You know? Gotta make use of that. Got the Holy Locket online for our Warlock here.
They're so farmed because it's just been constant 5v5 fights.
Yeah.
So the Warlock is benefiting. Heat map was team versus team. Error on the label. I was going to say, I was like, damn, Snaking's literally playing the whole map somehow. That's impressive.
Those NA Dota boys, man. They're so good.
All right, any important shards? Since we have it 20 minutes, Warlock's got it queued up. A couple people do have it
Jug
queued up.
has it queued up, I saw
Jug as
earlier.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next
That's just
item
those
on
two,
our
it looks
grocery list, it looks like.
Yeah.
And it's still very neck and neck. Less
It's
than
dead
1k
even.
net worth lead. Again, partially because of the fact that everyone's been huddling together in that mid lane, but BKB queued up now for the Lina. Be working on that.
They need that BKB especially because Mind Control, as we see, he's going to rush toward Blink Dagger, so less about protecting his front line and more about getting to the enemy back line. While UC33, he's got Pipe, so he wants to protect that front line, don't let them actually cross through to get into the back. It's kind of that one is actually an opposite dynamic, but besides that, team fights are pretty much the same. As
He is the wall.
He is the
wall. You have to break through, and if you break through the wall, there's a bubble there to contain you, you know? No break in quarantine, guys.
Nope.
Very important.
And he's tanky. 33 he also finds Vambrace. So on top of just Pipe, he is very tanky. Is mostly magic damage still on the side of Team Nigma, besides that Jug. Claiming themselves a high ground for now.
He has the shard flying out to him right now, I assume?
I think so, yeah.
There it is.
So I feel like for them, it's time to pick up the pace a little bit, but do have to watch out how you do run into all these ultis. But with that diffusal build, that's usually what that does tell you as these Jugs. Just fight a little bit more frequently, since we do have that more farm-esque build on Void, Maelstrom, Mask of Madness. They're actually making their way into the pit. We've got the Solar Crest, we've got the Kiss, or the Little Shredder. I almost say Kisses every time, because I feel like
Because it's so cute.
it's just so common. No, it's just usually Shredder non-stop. It just
No, it is.
It's always there. This is a big pickup. They're not
Yeah,
going to
they
make it in
scan
time.
for it, but they're not going to get there. And you have to watch out. They have so many. Look at this. They have the vision on GH too as he makes his way over. But it's too late. We have the Aegis online here for Skeeter.
He gushed early. That reveals the ward. GH knew he was in tree line there, so he pings it instantly.
They're all hiding in the woods here. Skeeter gonna
They're
jump
ready to throw the
forward.
kisses.
Sees GH. Those comes out. Terrorize gets dropped. They already threw the kisses, like you said. And Fata perhaps just a little bit too far forward here, but the rest of the team is hot behind. Go, drop the Fatal Bonds. They're just gonna focus up on the tower. They'll use the Fortify by a couple more seconds. But the BKB is now completed as well here for this Faceless Void. So like you said, it's so much magic damage right now that Nigma has. Diffusal, just, you know, slow down, Skeeter. But over in the mid lane, they find Miracle.
A big grab. They weren't ready for that one. Now
They're still
also,
playing around ILTW.
Skeeter's
They
still
know he's here. 33 was thinking about it. He's playing around a bit. They
gets
go
the
for the
Warlock.
Chronosphere. They find the Warlock, like you said. And they're just going to follow up with the Ravage, keep them all stunned into place. The Cookie hop forward. And that is a dead ILTW.
Skeeter is on fire this game. Just literal
These
perfect
Chronos are.
chronos every single time. That is insane. He actually is patient enough to catch the Warlock inside of it too as 9.
He's got a
It's daytime.
Yules too.
Nobody
He's
fears the
hunting.
Daystalker.
Oh, Dayman.
GH also getting brought down during this. Mind Control will be able to TP out.
Yeah, no other way
as
to
well.
cancel out, but I'm not so sure about,
Nope.
GH will fall. I mean, we talked about having a high-octane draft coming out from the side of Nigma, but Tundra is just playing their draft so well.
Skeeter's also just killing it. That core-to-core matchup, him versus the Jug. ILTW making quite a few mistakes, overplaying his hand with these spins. Skeeter is just on point every single time. Level 17 already at this point in the game and enabled nicely with that snaking behind him with the Solar Crest every single time. This is a very clean game so far from Tundra, just battling it out.
Tundra's hungry, man.
They are. And their lineup scales very hard. As we mentioned, Jug's gone for more of a fighting build, and it's not really working out for them so far.
They just haven't found the engagements, We saw that they have a Night Stalker. We figured, okay, this is going to start putting that pressure down early. You've got Miracle with all this magic damage, but a couple of these engagements have really just kind of gone sideways for the side of Nigma. And now you're running into the issue of, they have BKBs. They have things to counter all of this early magic damage.
And 33's gotten a very interesting item on the Tidehunter. How do you prevent being silenced up from a Night Stalker? Build yourself a Yules to just either Yules him and disengage, or you Yules, you wait for yourself. Usually you Yules the enemy Night
Cookie
Stalker.
hop forward. Are they just going to stun him into place? LTW gets a spin off, but they get a couple of the bastions too. Oh my
still
goodness,
alive.
he's almost able to. Oh, right on the back line. So they'll go. They'll drop Miracle, trying to burst down this damage, but they have the BKB over here on Skeeter. They're chasing after Snaking. They want him, but they're not quite able as they jump forward. Can they take down Miracle? Skeeter's just chasing them down. Yules will come into play here. 9 popping his own BKB. They'll be able to get that kill. Snake King does fall. The run is on here after ILTW. They want this kill. They want this jug. Can they get their hands on him?
They've got him.
They've got the Yules, the LSA, the Laguna Blade, and he is dead. They were chasing after 33 something fierce too, and he's still alive here. Do eventually manage to nuke him down, but 9 is hunting. Would like to punish him for this damage here, but they don't have the vision. He is going to be able to just teleport on out.
And also, the other thing I didn't point out is the Yules versus the Omni Slash. He's able to dodge out a lot of that damage very nicely. And ILTW, he almost dies at the start of the fight. He actually gets Holy Locketed from his Warlock. That's actually what pumped him up with that big heal there at the start. And Nigma, again, unable to take a very successful team fight. Now there's going to be a Chronosphere as well available for Tundra. Again and again, just out-fighting Team Nigma. And getting these catches, ILTW in a very precarious position to start it off too, in the river. This is like the death spot, we like to call it, where you don't have a good vision onto that high ground. Look how low he gets. And then bam, gets Holy Locketed up. And Skeeter, just BKB already at this point. He's able to just stick onto Miracle quite easily at this point in the game.
Yeah, he knows that that's a major damage dealer, like we said.
It's really good fights from Tundra, just reading the movements perfectly, always setting up, always being aggressive. And as we said, they've got their ults available here. They see ILTW, can't get on top of him,
He
but
doesn't
they'll
have
push
any
him away.
breathing room at all anymore,
No.
Fogged.
Skeeter just runs in and steals his Ancients instantly. And he's just hitting these crazy item timings. Almost has Scotty finished up also on Skeeter.
Oh god, the Elven Tunic here for Skeeter.
Oh, baby.
Just drops all the items over there too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Cloak of Flames. Anyone? Any takers? Yeah.
633, get over
Here
here.
you go.
Here you go. Give me
It's a nice
give me your
cloak.
fan brace. Thank you.
Just littering, leaving their slippers of agility on the floor.
Very effective use of gold so far for Tundra. 808 on Skeeter, as we said, the standout so far for this game. 9 also BKB, so they just got 2 different ways to protect themselves when they do get jumped from this Night Stalker in the back. And game is feeling really hard for Team Nigma now at this point.
Yeah, they made dynamic item choices. Again, not
Yep.
something you typically see on a Tidehunter. You don't see that Yules, but he's doing it. We've got a Chrysalis over here on Lena.
I like it.
Dishing out the damage.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Enchanted Quiver found over on the side of the Radiant here.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was going over on the side of Tundra, and I was like, oh, perfect.
That would be nice.
But no.
They do find themselves a sliver on the side of Tundra, though. Another really good pickup this game. That base damage, that status resist, everything here for the Void, just going to amp him up on top of this. I don't know if they're going to kill Skeeter, honestly, this game. He is going to have 3,000 HP plus way more effective HP when he's solared and he has a sliver, so he is going to be quite impossible to be being brought down, especially with a Void. All right, Abaddon at his side, too.
He's got to just, if they want to kill Skeeter, he's got to, A, be alone, B, not have his Chronosphere, and then C, they got to dump everything on him, and that is not the position that you want to be in.
No, they got to get the fear into the stun, into just a full follow-up. But yeah, there's so much backup from Tundra, and it's a very all-in item choice, as we said. I feel like this is do or die here for Team Nigma. The SNY and the Diffusal's done for the Jug. It's about to hit level 18. It really does feel like if this next fight doesn't go well for them, Tundra's gonna start just fully taking over the entire map.
And they do get themselves a quiver over on the side of Tundra.
Lena's gonna hurt.
I mean, she's already hurt. Let's be really honest here.
She's
But yeah, look at this. They can't defend these towers. They'll put out the fortification, but
She's about to be 20, so Fiery Soul stacks also will be even stronger. And Jug has to be careful now how he spins. If he just spins in a bad position, Nigma might just be able to right-click him down himself.
we're getting to that point.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This is excellent play so far for them. Everyone, I mean, they're never splitting up. They're never getting caught out of position from this Night Stalker movements at all.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the counter at this point in the game. Is just don't be alone.
Look at Miracle. Spider legs into this little spot here in the trees and starts whittling down the tower with Edict. So trying to do it with what they can so far, since I think they are feeling that pressure.
Well, they'll find themselves a courier at the very least. It is just Vatus, but
This one.
the big one though over here, you know.
LTW.
How long is he going to be
Get out.
able to just do that? That was the question.
Anytime Skeeter's there, he won't be able to.
He's just not afraid at all. He's just charging over here at GH. Just have to be a little bit careful. LTW now is here, so he should be able to get himself a nice pick-off kill.
Okay. The one time fought, I feel like the few times that he has made a mistake this game, but he's been excellent so far.
Yeah.
Like his deaths have been so perfect, the way he's just been revealing the positioning of Team Nigma.
Freaking
big
a lot of
fan
smoke
so far.
Skeeter.
Again?
Oh my god, the
ILTW.
same spot!
Oh my
The
goodness.
same exact same spot.
He is making quite some mistakes this time around. He's getting punished. Also, we see snaking with the shard picked up, that extra little bit of stun when you are in melee range, scatter blast.
And Miracle is doing everything that he can over here. He realizes, okay, he's dead. We can't, we can't fight. We can't do it. We just got to split push. And the Daedalus is now completed for this Lina.
Yeah, this feels very tough. This Jug is very out of the game so far here. And he went the earlier game items, and he's not been able to have the successful fights. Tundra gonna start working on high ground, but so is Miracle. Edict does push quite fast. They're gonna have to back up and respond.
TBing home.
33.
Silence. Nice play here. BKB coming out from mind control. It's just gonna be able to teleport out, but he does manage to find Miracle over here on the side. Again, the Yules will drop the Terrorize. 9 hunting. No, they started winding up. They didn't fully commit to it yet, but they need to get there fast because Miracle, he's just chipping down. Look at this damage!
Shredded.
Oh my word. Fata chasing after GH now.
Get over here.
Gotta navigate the maze here. Ooh, nope, not quite.
Whatever, got a shield. Pop a mango. Pop one of my 5 clarities. This is just, yeah, really good movements across the map. Tundra also recognizing that they got to be a little careful of these Edict split pushes, immediately swing back over, start to push back themselves. 33 dragging the wave as well from bottom.
I mean, the easy solution is you just kill Miracle.
Yeah.
And that's where he's dead right now. So they'll be pushing out these waves, taking down the vision, which also hurts so bad because ILTW, he just wants to farm.
GH.
Try to catch up. GH here uses the Shadow Realm, has the blink, throws down the brambles. 9's on his way, though.
Nice play there from GH. Dodging the first little shredder hit there with the Shadow Realm so he can get the blink off. Then he Yules the snaking midair.
Ooh, 9.
We'll retake that outpost, and 9 might be able to find GH anyway.
Nope.
Nope.
He blinks.
Does get away. Nice little plays from GH.
Mind control. Ooh, Fata. Didn't quite see him there.
But they're having to just avoid. They cannot fight into Tundra, which is a huge problem. And this Jug continues to get bigger. This Lina continues to get bigger as well. This game is very problematic for them.
They need to be the aggressors over on the side of Nigma, and they're having so much difficulty just finding these engagements. It looked pretty decent earlier on with mind control, starting to make these rotations, but they just started taking really beautiful team fights over in that mid lane. And Peter's here. He sees Miracle. He just wants to erase him again. The Yules will come out, though. Look at 33, trying to get into position. Dark Ascension will get popped.
Gotta catch some of these back heroes, but as we've said, they've got double mute magic immunity.
33 just walks right in. Mind control, getting the jump over here. The silence. They have the dust. Can they follow up? Couple of these spins. Skeeter just trying to poke away. They have the BKB. Mind control just hating here over after snaking. Has to be careful because look at this damage as they chase after him. And I hear a Ravage over on the other side, followed up with this beautiful Chronosphere. They'll take down Kuro, and they're going right back in again. They'll take down Miracle. ILTW, look at these clicks coming out here from 9. He just has to get a little bit closer. 33 is here. They have the Yules. They can set up for the LSA. The cookie hop forward. That is a dead juggernaut.
That honestly feels a game. This has been a relentless play here so far from Tundra. Not letting Nigma get any type of successful fights. ILTW really struggling so much this game.
They're
2
going
and
to
6. Yeah, I don't think there's anything Nigma can do versus this at all. These chronos, absolutely perfect from Skeeter. Tundra, this was a beautiful game, honestly.
Yeah, you can tell they figured it's pretty much over here. Although they do buy back on the Jug. Mind control trying to jump over onto the back lines, but he's just immediately blown up.
He's just gonna get hit by the Lina. He
is. Look at this. ILTW, he's thought maybe I can spin. Okay, they'll follow up. They'll drop the rock. They try to get off the damage here with these fatal bonds, and they went for the Omni Slash, but it's just not enough damage here because they have the Yules. They have everything they need to counteract this Jug.
And GH gets 3-shotted by 9.
Yep.
GG.
GG.
What a play coming out from Tundra. Itemization on point, the way that they constantly just fought these battles, and yeah, Skeeter, he, I think, for me, is the MVP. Even though he did see Fata break some smokes, eat some ganks and stuff like that, it was really Skeeter's Chronos. He was catching 4 or 5 heroes, or catching like 3 or 4 just on the cusp bit so that these kisses can be perfect, and yeah, great execution. I don't know if Nigma knows what hit them just there.
I don't know, but they looked very, very impressive. And we saw some cheeky individual play, too. I really appreciated that Ravage over on the mid lane when they were trying to take down ILTW, just went perfectly and then getting off the stun. But yeah, Tundra, they are ready. They're ready to fight. They are not going out of this without, hitting very, very hard. And you got to appreciate it. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yep, the constant battles with some, they have some long cooldown ultimates, but when the fights last 2 minutes and your ultis come back up and you're able to land such successful ones, it's gonna go well. Especially when a Jug who itemizes early isn't able to fight back at all. That was impressive.
Make every single one of your ultimates count, and that's exactly what Tundra did in this game number 1.
Indeed, they did. What a performance indeed from Tundra. They take game 1 here of this best of 3 against Nigma. Again, super important because if Tundra lose here, they're guaranteed relegated out. And so there's a lot on the line. But if they play like that, I'm sure we're going to be having all happy faces on the side of Tundra. We're going to talk about that game 1 and prepare for game 2 after this. was gushing over the Night Stalker last pick, and we said, well, if Tundra wants to have a shot this game, all eyes on that mid lane, all eyes on Nine's Lina. And if you were watching closely, you would have had a pretty good show. That man dealt so much damage with his Daedalus. He made sure that, well, him and the rest of his team made sure that Team Nigma couldn't really properly fight. And a very strong performance coming out from Tundra, taking this first game of the best of 3. I'm here with BSJ and Cap, and it just... there was no such domination as that I was expecting after seeing that Night Stalker pick, Cap.
Well, Brian.
Brian
was the one who was gushing over it.
Brian.
Oh, there's nobody to my left as they're all looking at me. I thoroughly believe that Tundra played incredibly sick that game. Like, you saw those chronos. I think their draft was better than I expected it to be, so I'm not trying to like cop out or anything here, but I do think the execution was just there. I think the lane bottom was a big problem. I think Jug doesn't necessarily do well against Snapfire, tied a lot of physical damage on low cooldown, but he was really struggling. And then the Faceless Void getting off to a better start, and then also getting that insane like momentum from those mid-game team fights. Hats off to Tundra.
Yeah, sometimes things like you start off in the meta and they just naturally kind of fizzle out. But like the start of this patch was Snapfire and everybody talking about like, dude, this maxed out Little Shredder is like bonkers damage, and you throw Gush on there, it's insane.
Yeah, and then you got the Mortimer's Kisses in the Chronosphere. There was a lot of good combos
also
coming
great
out.
Early Early Medallion was cool. I like that.
It was a great game from Tundra, and there was, especially in the mid lane at some point, a little bit of applied pressure coming out from Tundra that was just relentless, and Purge's going to talk about that.
Guys, there were a couple key moments of this game, and certainly the mid lane was where a lot of this happened. Here's one of Night Stalker's big rotations coming to kill 9 in the mid lane. Watch how fast his TP was from Foddy. He anticipated these movements or spotted enemy movements, said, okay, they're probably ganking him. If he doesn't put that shield on 9 here, the Leshrack's able to land a stun most likely, which guarantees 9 dies, and he gets just an inch away from the nice Chronosphere, which allows him to not only live, but also kill the Leshrack as well as the Night Stalker. And normally those two heroes are relatively survivable, especially Night Stalker. But with Little Shredder as well as Lina, they actually have a ton of single target damage, which makes things really effective for them. And then there was a gank right before this with Night Stalker popping his ulti. Unfortunately, they only got Snapfire in that kill. They didn't get Lina. So Tundra basically just marches down the mid lane and forces their opponents to respond to them, using Abaddon to take the initial engagement. There's lots of ultimates. They spread fodder to the right safely so he doesn't get comboed. And then at this point, Tide gets a great Ravage off. They do the Chronosphere follow-up, and it basically just goes well because Nigma doesn't get vision advantage as they initiate. If you look at how many sentries are on the map, there's a huge amount that helps make sure that if it's daytime, their opponents can't see them very well. This fight goes on for a very long time. This is like a 2-minute clip. It goes back and forth. And then everybody TPs mid again to decide to fight a second time because they're like, hey, Chronosphere is down, Mortimer's Kisses are down, and the Miracle's like, oh, I've got this really easy kill on the Snapfire here. He throws his combo in, but it kind of gets countered by time dilation. And Skeeter moving in is also going to split up the time dilation damage. And this is now the third death from Miracle, not as tanky as he wanted to be this game. That was a really, really big deal. Then there's another fight here. Ward gets dewarded. Fada's able to disengage a little bit. Then ILTW goes for the mid lane. The Ravage comes out. This was really crucial. Look how close the Terrorize is to hitting the Void. He backs up just in time, and as a result, he can jump in afterwards. He gets hit by the Golem, stun, but then he gets that beautiful Chronosphere. Healing Ward is a little bit zoned out. In the back, his Miracle isn't able to do any damage during the Chronosphere. He does eventually run in, but he knows at this point it's not very worth it. So a lot of really crucial moments there. And then for all of that fighting, they still denied their mid tower. It's really shameful. Tundra giving up a little bit early, but they eventually win the game. So congrats to them.
Congrats to them. Indeed, a strong showing. I loved seeing this game. It was super even at the start, and obviously the fights later on, very, very enjoyable. We'd love to see a third game, but if that's going to happen, that means Team Nigma is going to take game 2. We're going to find out if they can very soon, because the draft will happen after the break! 2 of Team Nigma versus Tundra coming your way here. DreamLeague Season 15 powered by Intel. It's of course in the upper division of the Western European DPC League. And the reason I'm talking fast is because there is so much on the line for this series. Tundra now 1 game up. If they win another game, there will be guaranteed tiebreakers for elimination between Brame, Tundra, and perhaps some other teams that are still up for contention there. Mainly OG actually is the only one there.
Yeah.
This is
Wow, the same draft.
Run it back.
Run it back. On the other side, Nigma, they really want to win because if they lose here, if they win, they are guaranteed major. The question is, will they be group stage or will they be wild card? If they lose here, they will
be in a guaranteed tiebreaker, either 3-way or
4-way.
Even
wild
going
cards.
to the major.
Yeah, even going to the in a wild card scenario as well. It's crazy. It's madness. There's I'm very happy that there's so much on the line with only 2 series. Isn't that mad?
Can you imagine a 4-way tiebreaker where first gets you group stage of the major
and last gets you not to the major?
You not even going? Oof. All right.
Okay, Nigma's whipped out the try-hard pants here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ET Medusa.
Yeah, pretty standard lane partner for a Medusa already with the ET. I'd say it's probably one of the better ones, actually, because it amps up your damage at all stages of the game. And AA, we talked about whenever we see it, it's a combo hero. You either pick Wraith King because they only have 1 volley of spells, or you pick Medusa because she doesn't actually die to the combo.
Don't forget it's amplified damage on amplified damage, right? These are the sort of mechanics that Dota teams have found and abused for the last couple of years, right?
Explain to us what you mean by that.
Medusa's getting the Aghanim Scepter, so she's turning people into stone, amplifying the damage that they're taking. And then on top of that, the ET in his aura is lowering your armor
to 0.
That damage. So
yeah.
it just means that, it actually means this Medusa, the physical damage that she represents in some of these mid-game team fights, normally you could shrug it off, but it actually becomes insane just with these 2 heroes off of that timing. It's also a tanky hero that is designed to be able to tank through burst lineups, which is what Tundra has with their Ancient Apparition Mars opener. So it really feels like Nigma has a very good answer, and there's going to be very, very different game plans between the 2 teams.
So I don't actually know this answer, so I'm asking you, Cap. I know that Medusa Mana Shield does not factor in reductions. Does it factor in amplifications?
I don't believe so. I think Kyle always does this thing. He always talks about Mana Shield.
Like, how does
It's
Mana
like
Shield...
one of those rare mechanics where Kyle definitely knows, So
Are you sure?
he brings it up every time.
Kyle at least
He was
talks
also the
like
one
he knows.
saying that Medusa's snake steals mana this morning,
Oh,
so
yes.
don't know about that.
Keeps on doing that one.
Well, if this mechanic's the same as it was 6 years ago, I trust Kyle's
That's true.
input on the matter.
That's
yeah,
true.
exactly. You know the problem. That is such a playing thing that you definitely know if you play, because the Mana Steal was so obnoxious that the moment you got to play against Medusa and it wasn't there, you immediately noticed.
Yeah.
You're like, oh god, life is so much better now.
I'd much rather be stunned for 1.5 plus 0.2 per bounce.
I mean, it still chunks away your health on the lane, but at least, you're still having your mana.
Yeah, at least I
it wasn't the mana during the lane that I hated the most. It was the fact that once she got the Talon, it was like 50% mana steal,
Yeah, like,
and
why?
you would just be a frontliner and get snaked twice and have literally 0 mana left. And I was like, oh, I am useless now. I am creep. As we have been BSing our way through the second round of bans. Anything of note here?
Is there any overarching theme with the bans that we see coming out for the teams?
The Void Terrorblade. Probably Void's one of the best heroes with the AA, sets up the Ice Blast quite nicely, and then the Terrorblade we've seen as a decent response to the Dusa because of the reflection. Kind of surprised they banned it though, just because they already have the ET, removes all base armor, but also banning the Nyx for the mana burn, I assume. But I think it's more so not just the mana burn, but Nyx AA also a very common support duo. If you think about trying to farm the map and you're against AA and Nyx, both with 6, Nyx is not showing on the map, Nyx is almost never showing on the map, you're terrified. Pretty much every core will die absolutely full to 0 once those 2 heroes are 6 in the mid game, so it really limits your ability to split up the map. And I know Nigma likes to do that. They also like to control areas with like Miracle farming Ancients.
Yeah, it just says absorbs damage before any damage reduction, so I have to assume the amplification.
We'll amp it.
Mm-hmm.
Or not amp it.
Are you talking about damage amplification? What do you mean?
I'm saying that if you nuke her for 300 damage, but it's under an ice vortex, how does that work with?
Yeah, I mean,
Mana Shield?
I'm sure that the amplification is applied first before. The
So it would count as like
definitely.
390 damage.
Definitely.
That would okay. I was just curious. I actually had no idea. I never really thought about it.
Yeah, it has to be.
So she's just super tanky. That's why she lives through A, not because of that mechanic possibly working the other way.
What do you feel about the troll against Medusa in terms of carry matchup?
It's kind of weird, especially if this ET is not a 3 or 4 position, but a 5 position in lane. Because Troll is nice in lane against ET because you have this insane miss percentage chance that doesn't scale. At level 1, it's 60%.
Yeah, it should scale. It should be 60, 70, 80, 90.
Get the hell out of here, Brian. Dumb carry player. Anyway, so if they don't actually have that lane matchup, then I feel like this pick is a little awkward because now you have Stomp as well as Stone Gaze that can really stop this troll when he goes all berserk.
Literally. As I was curious if they're maybe setting up like some aggro tri-lane or something. Where, because of exactly what you just said, I thought they might have picked the troll to lane against the ET Dusa, but that doesn't really seem like a thing teams are ever doing right now.
And Mars
So I'll
isn't
kinda
really
write
a
that one out.
solo off, like 1v1 hero that really feels enabled by that. You know,
Yeah.
you're like Timber Saws and those kind of matchups are fun, but Mars isn't like particularly spectacular.
So we saw a tiny Pango lane for Into the Breach do really well. Or was it? Yeah, it was Into the Breach, right? It did really well against open option, and I think on paper you don't want 2 melee heroes usually in the same lane, but against Medusa, I think it might be the best option.
I do want to say that for Nigma, when they have played Medusa, also with the, I believe it was actually, at least it was with the Willow as well, not the Elder Titan, but they've played Miracle on the Medusa, so there's still the flexibility option in terms of playing it mid.
LTW's an Ember player.
Particularly, to Brian's point, particularly because the way ET secures lanes as a 5 position is he just runs out and fights you. But if you were to have Clockwork Darkseer, like specifically, you can't fight into that, right? Ion Shell plus Battery Assault is way too hard to fight into. So his effect in the way he would create space for the Medusa in laning phase is completely nullified. It's not like someone dying or something, or an ogre who's designed to just tank damage, or an undying who heals you up. You actually would not have a very good defense mechanism at all.
So the only issue with that Darkseer now is that you're dealing with an Ember that you don't really have lockdown for. The Mars will certainly have to go Yules now, whatever role it may be. They're worried about the lane dominators that would go mid. I think since you see Ember, Mars isn't particularly excited to lane against Ember. It's okay. Like, usually you'll win the early levels, but you don't really kill him with Arena reliably if the Ember's a good player, and I think Miracle's probably decent. So I'd go more so with a mid laner that's meant to stomp, but also offers a way to catch the Ember. Something like a Storm, something like... What else is there, actually?
Void
Puck's already
Spirit.
banned out. Void Spirit. I think that matchup's been tilted in Ember's favor.
With most Medusa lineups is just running out of damage. So heroes that have constant damage, especially damage that gets built up over time, are usually really good against Medusa.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay. There's still the option that they do Clockwork 5, or like Clockwork 4, but in the safe lane, with an AA pelting the Dusa with the Mars. You either go for like the all-in kill route, or just the straight-up harass the ET out of lane. And in that case, you're kind of giving the Medusa what she wants, but the ET will be a 7 position, so... I actually have no idea what direction either team's going to go. Nigma did give Mind Control last pick last game. You know it's not going to be Core ET. You're pretty confident it's pretty bad against Troll.
Yeah. No, that is not a lane matchup that is fun at all.
Venomancer? How crazy is that, man? For Nigma.
I don't love the
Underlord.
matchup against Troll most of the time, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, just because you're short range, I feel like it can't harass the troll as much as I want, and wards are more easily dealt with range heroes.
They banned Darkseer.
Mm-hmm.
That was not who I expected to ban Darkseer.
Oh yeah, the Darkseer Ion Shell plus the Ember Shield.
That would be quite the scary pace the game represented there, I guess. Seems like it'd be hard to penetrate through that wall to deal with the Dusa. No? Okay.
Yes,
Sun
Brian,
King.
I got a pun.
Sand King Willow, okay. It's actually pretty decent against Clock too. It's an offlaner that doesn't innately die to the Battery Assault cogs. So Snaking, we've seen him make a lot of early moves, no matter what lane he starts in. So I actually like that compared to a lot of the other options.
Like Darkseer, Sand King, like whenever there's a troll pickup, I really want to have a hero that can just naturally farm the wave without being pelted forever by these troll right clicks. So like Sand King has his Sandstorm where he's invis and pushes in the wave. Ion Shell, Underlord Firestorm, another good example.
Ooh. The Doom.
What do we think of that?
Is that a 9 Doom? No, it's a 33 Doom.
Yeah, and they're gonna go the Yule's mid build for Mars. I don't know. Do you like Doom against Medusa?
I do not.
I don't think you do, right? Every single time I've played that matchup, I've just usually been frustrated that he got off Stone Gaze before I got off Doom, and my entire game plan is ruined.
So this is a Miracle Dusa. Probably just running it mid. We've seen him do it before. So ILTW is an Ember Spear player in the side lanes. Traditionally one of the many European carries that likes the Ember Spirit safe lane. I said I liked Nigma's draft more game one than I did Tundra's, but I think they even have it better here. I think the Doom is not the best answer to the Medusa. I think Miracle will have the space he needs to carry this game. I don't think the pace they represent is fast enough, and LTW's on a signature.
I will tell you, the stats do agree. Every time Team Nigma lose first game of best of 3, regardless of if they win or lose the series, they always win game 2.
That was actually the whole reasoning for it, and you just kind of... I was trying to BS my way through that explanation, and I've been exposed.
I think for this game, the momentum of the Yule's Mars is really important, but I'm going to be watching for 33 and his impact, because one thing that Doom does represent is constant percentage-based damage, thanks to his Infernal Blade. So I think 33's game is actually really important in this one. If you're a strong Doom and can continue to run at people, you are just a constant fountain of damage.
All right, well, let's see if 33 can do it for the squad, because if Tundra win here, they are guaranteed forcing out tiebreakers for a chance to avoid relegation. Of course, we also like to see a third game, so perhaps we will, depending on if Team Nigma work out their draft the way it should. We're heading over to Moxie and Fog for game 2.
I mean, who doesn't love tiebreakers? It's just more Dota for us to watch. But I know we're both a little bit surprised here with that 33 Doom. It felt like, there was some other options there in the draft that they could have gone to help deal with this Medusa.
Yeah, I'm very curious what they're going to go for here. I guess it is the concept of Medusa has changed from the past, where we used to see, that you go for your damage items and stuff like that, and then Doom isn't as effective. I haven't seen a Mars versus a Medusa. I've seen Miracle a lot of the times in this mid matchup as this Medusa, but I've seen it mostly versus like intelligence heroes, where that's where the snake thrives at its maximum, so you can keep yourself at topped off. Yeah, we'll see. Starting with the quelling, so we can match that base damage versus the Mars as well. Yeah, we'll see. This is a cool approach here.
I mean, Miracle has run some interesting things in the mid with very interesting mindsets here. But, with the 9 being on the Mars.
30 seconds to battle.
Feels like Nigma set themselves up for like this super scaling lineup too. Like if they don't fall out of it early, they're gonna scale to incredible measures. ILTW Ember, it's a classic. This guy is one of the best Embers in the world, especially from safe lane, which nobody else really runs. He's one of the few players that loves to play it there. And they've got ET, and ET works so well when you are playing with these mixed heroes that do both physical and magical, like Medusa and like Ember Spirit in the later stages of the game. So yeah, this is going to be a cool one. I think it's a very different style than the last one, where that mid tower isn't going to be this insane 5v5 as often.
You say that, but...
I think we're going to see more stacking. I think that's the key thing. Last game, I was looking around, there was like no stacks. Everyone's just fighting mid 5v5. This is a game where I see Sand King. You need to get stacks for this hero to get a good Blink Dagger timing. Same thing on the other side. For the troll, you want to probably get a couple of them going. But yeah, I think for the most part, we're going to see a lot more stacking from Nigma in particular. We have a Medusa and a Sand King, so yeah, let's see. I'm going to watch mid mostly because I'm not going to see this matchup too much. I feel like Miracle can just constantly poke him, but I don't see 9 being able to get really bullied out of lane either. And a really strong lane bottom versus Sand King. I was wondering, you know, are they going to put the clockwork down here since it is a Sand King? No, they're not. So that Sand King does have a much harder time. In comparison than if he was versus Clock, because versus Clock you can play around it with stun and whatnot. And he skilled the Caustic right away, which feels kind of grim for Mind Control playing versus double ranged heroes.
Yeah.
They can just both stay, you know, Troll can just stay inside that range for him. GH is priming the range creep so he can get the last hit. We'll get it. Trying to make sure that they don't get left behind in the experience department. Because if they hit 2, Mind Control might just die instantly as soon as they do.
Well, it's just so scary when you consider that you do have a slow, you've got that cold feet, you're going to be looking to murder as often as you can too, coming out from the side of Tundra. So
this is
not
a
the
really strong lane.
easiest
Really strong lane from
here.
Tundra. Once the levels come out, we will see like Mind Control and GH able to maybe find kills onto Fada, but besides that, I think Skeeter's going to free farm down here.
That's very, very scary.
Yeah. On the other side, we do have this Ember Spirit who should be able to do some decent free farm as well, too. Depending on what creep we do see 33 find, as he will take a speed creep, eat away that pole camp, also find himself a courier. Okay.
Pretty low here. Does have the bottle, though. Should be able to get right topped off as he's running his way over here. And that is one of the nice things here, is the fact that, you know, Medusa is still fairly slow when she's not got that Stone Gaze up and running. So should be able to actually go and deny both of these runes from Miracle. That feels kind of bad here. So he gets phoned right over again. Snake King opening up here. Battery Assault. They just keep bashing Miracle over here to the side. Kuro is here, though, of course, but they're poking away. There's no mana left over here on Miracle. This is not looking good for him. He is going to fall to Snake King.
The King returns.
He does indeed.
Fada.
So the full feet proc, though, over here onto the Dark Willow. So it looks like Fada's actually going to survive this. GH perhaps diving just a bit too far.
And I think GH tried to salve in the Shadow Realm, but still had Cold Feet active on himself. So he loses his salve, he dies. Huge kill on mid. I'm surprised the Medusa went to go check these runes. As you said, 275 mood speed. 9, capitalizing heavily. 17 and 4, doing excellent in the matchup. And yeah, Snake King, super active as we've seen him so much on this 4 position. Has Tranquil Boots now. So he's going to be even more active with this and just be a nuisance.
I mean, he is one of my favorite clockworks to watch, as I have been following a lot of like NA and SA does. Like him and Schofield on this hero, they do a lot with it.
Yeah. I'm a big Snake King fan, honestly. You know, former teammate of mine for ages. I've seen this boy grow up. No, he's killing it. That was an excellent rotation. The level 1 Battery Assault usually is not that effective, but versus such a slow hero like Medusa, yeah, beautifully done. Gets him off to a nice, solid start. So it does look like they are coming out ahead in 2 of the lanes here. Ember is still free farming for the side of Team Nigma, but yeah, very good stuff coming out from Tundra again at the start.
Grab another wave here, too. 33 is going to be able to hit all the creeps he wants.
He's going to deny a whole wave away, too.
Oh, heck yes, he is.
So what are they going to do in response? ILTW, he's going to try dragging waves in between, too, doing all this funny business to get over here because he doesn't want to lose out on all the XP.
To get the stacks have begun as well.
They've gone for a very greedy setup on Team Nigma, so they have to go for these stacks. 33 will eat some damage here from the level 2 Flame Guard. This was a great play from ILTW, actually. To bring the creeps here, very heads up from him.
Are they going to be able to challenge these stacks that Snake King just threw together?
No. I mean, on the side of Team Nigma, no. This is a more passive style draft, I do feel, from them. The only real aggression that's going to come out is from the Sand King Willow in the early game. And
it feels like GH has to kind of babysit a Snake King, making his rotation here. Whirling axes over onto Mind Control. He's got the Burrow Strike, though. He's going to be fine.
Super active, though. He's already set up 33 for success up top. 33's queued up Midas. I guess that's the planning around. They're going to just try to be very greedy themselves. You know, they see greed from Nigma.